So I've seen Hayao Miyazaki's latest animation film, How Do You Live? Or I heard in the United States it's going to be released under the title of The Boy and The Heron, or something like that. And I should say that you should definitely see it. It's another masterpiece from the greatest, arguably one of the greatest, or probably the greatest animation filmmaker ever. And personally, I love My Neighbor Totoro, but it's really moving to witness what the great master is thinking nowadays in terms of visual artistic expressions by looking at how he has dealt with the job of constructing this latest film. It's piece that is kind of hard to interpret. It's a story about life and death, obviously, and it's about how you would come to terms with uneasiness of existence, the unbearable uneasiness of existence, and especially when you're growing up, there's a growing pain, and especially when that growing pain is associated with your close loved ones, it's going to be even harder. So that theme is dealt with, and as is the case with many hallmark Hayao Miyazaki films, there are many delightful visual elements, birds and waters and fireworks and quite intricately characterized personalities and mysteries and all these things. You could even say that this is kind of a regular, works of Hayao Miyazaki fetish. I mean, it's something that fans are expecting from the great master, and he provide that. So you wouldn't be disappointed if when you see this film. It was interesting to say that the film was characterized by something that you could only term as abstract expressionist tendencies, as if you are witnessing an animation by Paul Klee and Kandinsky. I must say that Hayao Miyazaki uses all these abstract forms. I'm just saying that the relationship between what he expresses on the screen has a very, indirect and finely abstract relationships to the dramaturgy that is, driving the story, so that you could probably enjoy what you see on the screen as purely, artistic expression from the great master. So if you actually don't even have to know the storyline, this is something quite subtle to convey. But if you imagine witnessing Paul Klee or Kandinsky type abstract visual animated image, then you would be wondering, even if you enjoy the art, you would be wondering if you would be able to sit through a 2 hours session. You might, feel distressed and so on. But once you have the magic of Hayao Miyazaki's storytelling, this film is full of enigmas and sense of wonder and sense of suspense that would keep you, watching the film in, expectation and admiration. Because of this, you would be able to appreciate the abstract art forms, if you like, of the film, because there's this drive of curiosity, drive of enchantment, and that would make you absorb the magic of Hayao Miyazaki's visual expressions, which is very unique and characteristic of the great master. I mean, every touch, every detail, the way frames are continued, and how scenes are abruptly changed, and how the characters are designed, that their movements and their facial expressions, their characteristics, all these things are so hallmark Hayao Miyazaki. So in a sense, that is the whole point of this film, probably. But if you put the magic of very suspenseful storytelling, that would make the film even more entertaining and enjoyable and artistically, aesthetically satisfying. So that's what happened during my viewing of How Do You Live by Hayao Miyazaki today in Tokyo. On the abstract level, I felt that there was some commonality between this Hayao Miyazaki film and some traditional Japanese plays like the no play, in the way that transition to space and time are envisioned, and how the characters experience what goes through them, and the expectation that each one is transfigured beyond recognition after some dramatic encounter. So I think that's very much like the traditional no play, and I don't know if Hayao Miyazaki has had this relationship clearly in his mind. Probably it's something unconscious and implicit, but I do feel that there is this very interesting affinity between this piece of Hayao Miyazaki and the traditional aesthetics coming from the great tradition of No, dating back to 15th, 16th century, and indicated by the great actors Kangami and Zeami. So there's this book called I don't know the English title of it, but it's called The Book of Flowers, I think, and so there were many wonderful flowers in this Hayao Miyazaki film, and I hope you would be able to see it. So I should also mention that the film, the story of the film, takes place in a physically limited area. So that's, I think, one of the characteristics of the film, and it's probably related to the use of symbolism in the story. There are many interesting symbolisms, including, of course, the birds, but also, well, I'm not going to tell you because it's something that you would enjoy when you see the film. So I'm not going to tell you. But suffice it to say that there are many, interesting, deeply resonant symbolisms in the film, and taken together with the fact that most of the story takes place in, up space, the nature of which you would witness when you see the film. So everything happens there. So basically, although there are trips outside, let's say trips. So it's a Bildungsroman in a sense, in which the protagonist is a boy, because an adult overcoming the uneasiness of existence, which I think is actually common to all the Hayao Miyazaki films. The wonderful process of growing up and realizing one's true identity and potential in this world. So it's there, but in an interestingly different style this time. And you wouldn't be disappointed when you see this film. It's one of the great masterpiece from the creator of My Neighbor Totoro and Spirited Away, and all these wonderful films.